audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Let my first words be words of gratitude to you, Jyoti, for calling me here. I think so. Your parents have kept your name perfectly, Jyoti. You bring light and you bring the lamp of happiness and joy wherever you go. God bless you. Thank you so very much for
Thank
calling
you.
me here. It's my absolute pleasure. And also my word of gratitude to the President, Krishna Priya. I think so. Your parents also thought well before keeping your name. Krishna comes from the word Akarshan, Krishtada, Ati Krishna, which means that you attract everybody through your beautiful voice. In fact, when Jyoti told me in the evening, I saw a few of your YouTube videos and they were marvelous. So you're attracting with your communication and you're loved by all. I loved your videos, Krishna, and I think so. You should continue doing this beautiful work which you're doing. Thank you very much. And let me all tell you that please take whatever Jyoti has said with a pinch of salt because I had the very good fortune of having Rahul Dravid as my classmate. And he used to always tell me, you're only good as your last innings. So you might have done so much in the past, but it doesn't mean that it's a guarantee for your future performance. And I'm reminded of this famous athlete called Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt had won the Olympics for 4 times, and when he had won it for the third time, and he had just come down from the podium after receiving the Olympic gold medal, one press reporter came to him and said, "How do you feel being the world champion of sprint, 100 meters champion?" And Hussein Bolt looked at the press reporter and said, "Who said I'm the world champion of sprint?" She said, "No, sir, you just now won it for the third time. You are the world champion of sprint. You're the undisputed king of 100 meters running." Hussein Bolt said something very profound. He said, "Do you know, when I was on the podium and when the gold medal was on my neck and when the national anthem of Jamaica was being played," he comes from Jamaica, "till that time, I was the world champion. As soon as I came down, I'm no longer the world champion. I'm only the defending world champion. I have to work all over again for the next 4 years to prove that I am the world champion." And I think so. The same thing applies to me. So please don't take anything seriously. Uh, I will try my best to meet up with so much of expectation that has been built around. So thank you so much. But please forgive me and pardon me in case I falter in my duty of doing
Rajdeep
something
sir,
great.
we really want you to switch on your video. We want to see you.
Oh,
Please,
is it switched off? I thought it is.
Yes, sir.
it's
Oh,
switched off.
okay. When I had asked my son to switch it on, I don't know. Wait. I'll do this. Is it on now?
No, sir.
Okay, wait. Is it okay? Just hold on. I've called my son and he'll just switch
मैं
it on.
यहाँ बाहर से बोल देती हूँ.
Yes, sir, it is audible now.
No, audible is okay. The video has to be on, right?
While sir is coming back, we
Yeah.
have
Is my
heard.
audio on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now both your
My
audio and
video is
video is
also on?
on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There
Thank
was.
you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I don't know what you saw in the stupid face of mine, but anyway. Anyway, thank you so much. So as I told, please take everything with a pinch of salt. When I asked Jyoti, what do I speak upon? She told me, "Sir, is communication all about flair, delivery, language?" And I told, "No." She said, "Sir, can you speak something about that?" So let me tell you an incident which happened in our recent Indian history, and then I'll come to my stories. Uh, all of us know that we got independence on 15th August 1947. It was one of the most proud moments in our history, but it was also one of the most dark hours in our recent history because we got partitioned and the communal riots took millions of lives. Muslims killing Hindus, Hindus killing Muslims, and one of the greatest leaders whose autobiography, even if I read today, I have tears in my eyes, was Mahatma Gandhi. My Experiments with Truth is truly a masterpiece. And he was very upset because of the killings. And two parts of our country where the riots were in huge numbers were on the western part of our country, Punjab, because Punjab got divided into Western Punjab, the Indian Punjab and the Pakistani Punjab, from where most of the prime ministers come of Pakistan, right from Nawaz Sharif to Imran Khan. And there were huge riots there in the Punjab area. And on the eastern part of our country, West Bengal, Bengal got divided into West Bengal and East Pakistan, and later on East Pakistan got independence and they became Bangladesh. And Mahatma Gandhi was very, very upset. So he called Nehru and he said, Nehru, can you go to Kolkata where the riots are in tremendous proportion, where people are killing each other without even thinking, and speak to them? Nehru was very obedient to Mahatma Gandhi, so he went over there, and there were 40,000 people in the stadium in Kolkata, and Nehru gave one of the most brilliant speeches ever, even better than the speech which he gave on the midnight of 14th and 15th August 1947, the Tryst with Destiny speech. And he said, brothers and sisters, we have the same blood, we have the same sweat, we have the same tears. Why do you want to kill each other? And it was mesmerizing, his speech, for nearly 1 hour. And it was applauded and it was great. But as soon as Jawaharlal Nehru left Kolkata, the riots continued. Mahatma Gandhi decided to skip the flag hoisting ceremony, which was going to be held in Parliament Hall when India was going to get independence on August 14th, 15th, 1947. And he said, I'm going to Kolkata. And everybody said, no, you should be there. You're the father of the nation. But he said, no, my duties are somewhere else. So he went to Kolkata on the 13th of August 1947. And the same stadium, the same 40,000 people, Gandhiji went on stage and spoke only 6 words in Hindi. एक दूसरे को मारना बंद करो. Please stop killing each other. And very rarely Mahatma Gandhi broke down on stage. He broke down on stage that day because while he was coming from the station to the stadium, he saw so many dead bodies on the road. He saw widows banging their head on the dead bodies of their husbands, orphaned children circling the bodies of the parents. And he was so very upset that he couldn't speak more. He was emotional and he cried on stage and he went off stage. The entire meeting was called off in, I think so, 2 minutes. He had spoken only 6 words. All the 40,000 people went back. But do you know something which happened after that? Something miraculous happened. For the next 3 months, there was not one killing in Kolkata. And every communication has 2 parts, the content and the intent. The content may be very, very strong. And I have nothing against Nehruji, please. He was a great leader. But Mahatma Gandhi didn't have content, but he had the intent. He spoke from his heart. It doesn't matter if you can't speak a particular language. It doesn't matter if you're fumbling in your words. If your heart is in the right place, your communication will always be effective. I always tell this, the heart of communication is communicating from the heart. The heart of communication is communicating from the heart. And most of the time, we place so much emphasis on the right body language, moving ourselves left, right, putting in the voice modulation. That is important. But more important is, can you do something to make yourself much better from your heart so that your words touch the other person's heart? I'm reminded of 2 incidents. One of the darkest days of my life, and one of the best days of my life. And both of them involved something which I want to tell you. I'll start off with one of the darkest days of my life. I was invited to a college in Bangalore, it's called RC College, to speak to the MBA students. And the topic was why communication fails. This was many years back, around 10, 12 years back. And at that time, I could see properly. A little bit I could see, means now I have no vision at all. But in those days, I could see at least 30%. I suffer from a disease called macular degeneration, where the rods and cones of the eyes keep depreciating. I had lost 70, 80% in my 8th standard, and it progressively got worse. But I could see just a little bit around 10, 15 years back. And I started speaking. When I started speaking, there was a person in the front row of the class. The principal was a very nice lady, Mrs. Bhagyalakshmi. So she left me in the class. Who, with my very limited eyesight, because I could see only the front row and 2 rows might be, was wearing a red cap, bright red cap. At least that much I could see. And he, as soon as I started speaking, he put his head down. And as soon as he put his head down, I was a little upset. What is this fellow? I'm speaking on why communication fails. And I started saying communication fails because, and I went a little near him and continued. But he didn't lift up his head. In fact, after a few minutes, I could hear some sounds emanating from him. Grrr, grrr. And I was a little perplexed. मैं हैरान हो गया. मैंने बोला, what is this? I'm such a good speaker, and this fellow snoring. So I went again next to him and I said, communication fails because there is no connection between you and the audience. And what happened to that boy? And all the people in that class were giggling. They were looking here and there, and this boy continued to snore. That 1 hour was hell for me. That person is snoring, these people are half listening, half not listening, some people are smiling, some people are giggling. Anyway, I gave my talk and I came out and I went to the principal's office. I went directly to Mrs. Bhagyalakshmi and I said, ma'am, this is the last time I'm coming to speak in your college as a guest speaker. I'm no longer going to come to your college. This is absolutely the last time. She said, what happened, Rajdeep sir? I said, ma'am, they are supposed to be professional MBA students. There is a boy in the front row, he sits, he puts his head down. He doesn't even lift up his head. He snores throughout my class. This is what you teach your students? She was a little upset. She said, Rajdeep sir, let me find out. I'll just go and come, sir. Very, very upset. She went outside. She did some inquiries and she came back. And I was sitting in the front row and she came to me and she said, you know, Rajdeep sir, that boy who was sleeping in your class in the front row, his name is Vaibhav. I told, whatever his name is, it's not my concern, madam. She said, you know, sir, the reason he was wearing a red cap is because he's bald. I told, that is also not my concern. That might be the fashion trend. I have got bald without choice. He's got bald with choice. So leave him. I'm not bothered. She said, no, Rajdeep, sir, you're mistaking me. The reason why he's bald is he's lost his hair due to chemotherapy. He's been going through chemotherapy. He suffers from last stage of blood cancer, leukemia. And sir, you know what? Yesterday when I announced Rajdeep Manwani is coming to speak to your class, he was so excited because you're known in the circles to be a good teacher. And today he was not supposed to come to college. He was supposed to go for chemotherapy. But he went in the morning at 7 o'clock to the hospital to get his chemotherapy done. But the pain was so unbearable that he asked for morphine injections. In fact, the hospital itself administered morphine injections. And that morphine injection resulted in him feeling so drowsy that he slept in your class. You know how I felt that day? I felt that the earth should have opened and it should have eaten me up. I felt I should have been Sita and the earth should have opened and I should have gone inside. I felt so bad. I said, Rajdeep, how stupid can you get? You are teaching why communication fails and you didn't have the simple courtesy of going up to the boy, patting him and saying, you're feeling sleepy, why don't you wash your face and come back? And there was one thing which was blocking me. I had this head weight, it's called ego, E-G-O, edging God out. And I was so much into this ego trip that I said, oh, I'm a great speaker. Everybody should listen to me. I had lost contact with my heart. and I'd lost contact with my heart. And I suffered one of the worst days of my life. I couldn't sleep for at least 3 days. And I said, how could you do this? It was terrible for me. That being a communication faculty, being a teacher, I couldn't understand one simple thing, and I had gone into this entire mode of judgment. Anyway, worst day of my life, not connected with my heart. Fast forward a few years. In my college, I teach in Jain College in Bangalore. It's a deemed to be university, Jain University. We had started something called as this mentorship scheme. And what happens in this mentorship scheme is we adopted this technique from Japan, where a teacher is given around 10 or 15 students, whereby each student not only tells you about their academic performance, but you also guide them professionally, personally, if they have any issues. So I had around 15 students assigned to me. I was teaching the first semester. I teach in the UG department and sometimes in the PG. So I was teaching these kids, and there was one girl in this class called Nandini, amazing student, very good, 90% and above. And she was one of my mentees. She was assigned as a mentee to me. So every week we have to do a checkup. We have to ask them, how's your academic performance, studying properly? Huh? Do you have any personal problem? No. Do you have anything you want to do? No. You know, teenagers, no? So they'll always say, ha. In 10, 15 minutes, I used to finish off all the mentorship. They never used to open up much. And okay. This happened in the first semester. Amazing girl, 90%, 91%. Second semester also 90%, 91%. Suddenly, in the third semester, and luckily I was the teacher for them for 4 semesters. In fact, 6 semesters in a row. I was taking different subjects for different semesters. And third semester, from 90%, suddenly she plumped to 70, 65. And she started feeling very lost in class. I was a little worried. What has happened to this girl? So I asked the friends of hers, what has happened? She's into a relationship. No, sir, we don't know, nothing of that sort. And every time she used to come for her mentorship, I used to keep telling her, Nandini, what happened? Nandini, please tell me, why are you so lost? No, sir, next time I'll do properly, sir. Don't worry, sir. Nandini, please, why are you so lost in class? Why are you looking so upset? Why is it that your performance is dropping? No, sir, next time, promise, sir, I'll get 85, 90. But this didn't happen. Fourth semester, it became even worse, 60%. And I kept on asking her. Somewhere in the middle of the fourth semester, towards the end of the fourth semester, I was sitting in my cubicle one day and she burst into tears when she came for her mentorship session. And she was crying. I said, what happened, Nandini? She said, sir, from all these days you've been asking me why I'm so upset. No, let me tell you, sir, why I'm so upset. I said, what happened, Nandini? She said, you know, sir, in the middle of my second and third semester, my father met with an accident and he died. That's okay, sir. But my mother has married again, sir. And my stepfather is a devil, sir. He's a demon. He beats me. He abuses me. He shouts at me. He screams. And in front of my mother, he acts very normally, sir. And I don't know what to do, sir. And as an individual, I just opened my heart. Just empathetic listening. I used to listen to her. I used to say, okay, doesn't matter, Nandini, things will calm down. I used to just listen, and she used to cry every week. She used to come. I used to take 2 handkerchiefs. I used to give it to her. She used to cry and open out her heart. What happened, what happened, and what happened. This continued for around 6, 7, 8 weeks. And then we broke for our 5th semester. And 5th semester also, she came for 1 or 2 weeks. But after that, she suddenly disappeared. She didn't come to college at all. And we went to the computer section. We tried to find out her address. I sent some students to her house. They said, sir, that house is the wrong address. Her number was switched off. No trace of Nandini at all. And I was feeling very guilty. I said, oh my God, I should have reported this matter to the police. Have I done a mistake? What did I do wrong? Where is this girl gone? And that feeling, where did she disappear, kept gnawing at me. You know, it kept hurting me. I don't know where this girl is gone. Anyway, fast forward a few more years, fast forward 1 or 2 years later, her memory didn't leave me. I was invited to Shobha Developers to give a talk, Motivate to Win. And the senior management liked it and they said, why don't you go and give it to the middle management also? They have a factory. Shobha Developers not only constructs, they also make these wardrobes and mattresses, and also they told for the factory, why don't you go there and speak to the middle management? So I went and spoke at the middle management, the same talk. And as I was walking out of the room, I felt a pat at my shoulder, and I turned back, and she said, "Remember Nandini, sir?" And I was overjoyed. I said, "Yeah, Nandini, where were you all these years? No touch, nothing happened." She told, "Sir, come to my cubicle, I'll speak to you." I went to a cubicle, and she said, "Sir, do you know what? I left college, but don't worry. I completed my BCom through correspondence. And after that, I did MBA also through correspondence through Symbiosis University. And I've done my MBA, and now I've got a job here as the secretary to the managing director, sir. But you know one thing, sir?" She held my hand, and with a lot of respect and gratitude, she said, "Sir, do you know one thing? If I'm alive, it's only because of you." I said, "What rubbish are you talking?" She said, "No, sir. The days when you were mentoring me and I used to come and cry in your cubicle, those were the darkest days of my life, sir. And I'd even thought of committing suicide once or twice. But I used to keep thinking, if this sir, who's not at all related to me, can listen to me so much, why don't I try my own relatives?" And that gave me the courage to speak to my actual father's sister. She told, "Leave the house. Don't leave any trace. We will take care of you." And I left the house. That's why I removed all my traces from the college, etc., so that my mother and my stepfather cannot contact me at all. But, sir, I'm really grateful to you, because what you did, nobody else could have done. And you know how I felt that day? I felt overjoyed. I felt absolutely over the moon. When my son had started walking, I had felt really happy, because he didn't crawl. Okay, straight away he started walking. And when your son takes the first step, you feel very happy. My son Pratyush. But the happiness which I felt when my son started walking was nothing compared to what happened that day when I heard this girl say this. The reason? I'd opened my heart. And I want to tell you the same thing. If you can be a little more heart minded, in the Buddhist, we have a mantra which says, Om Mani Padme Om. It simply means let the jewel of the mind settle into the lotus of the heart. And I think so that is what is important. So many times we keep worrying, oh my God, my language is not proper, my diction is not proper. Doesn't matter. As long as you have opened your heart, you can make a difference. You can make a huge difference somewhere or else in the world. There was a boy, young boy, who was telling his elder brother, Bhaiya, why do we always say ABC, ABC, ABC? Why don't we say ACB, ACB, ACB? And the older brother said something very profound. He said, first you have to be, only then you can see. First you have to be, only then you can see. And I think so, if your being is good, if you feel good about yourself when you're speaking to somebody else, if your heart is open, doors automatically open. There's nothing to worry about. Your communication will always be successful. And it doesn't matter that whatever you say, but if you are being proper, you will see the results come through. I just want to end when I had, in fact, I had come to Jaipur around 2 years back, I think so. There was this Fickies lady organization, Flow, and I'd come to speak over there. And I always love Jaipur. It's a beautiful city and beautiful people, just like all of y'all. Thank you so much for calling me. And when I came back from Jaipur, I came back from the flight to Bangalore. I was on the, I was waiting for the cab to come. And in this Bangalore International Airport, it's called the Kempegowda International Airport, there is a big hoarding of a real estate company outside. And generally, when I'm standing with the people from the crew, I ask them, what is in that hoarding? What is in that hoarding? Because I can't see. So I asked, what is this hoarding, big hoarding? I can just feel that there is something in front of me. He said, yes, sir, there's something on the hoarding. I said, what's there on that hoarding? And he said, sir, it is from this real estate developer. I said, yeah, but what's written on it? And there's something really profound written on that hoarding. It's written, you have landed, but have you arrived? And I want to ask you the same question. You might have landed at Toastmasters, but you'll truly arrive when you open your heart and show a little concern, be a little more human, and be a little more considerate to another person. Thank you so, so very much for giving me this opportunity to speak to you. Thank you very much.
A big round of applause, Aldeep sir. It was actually such a beautiful way of expressing that. For a minute, I also went into the awe that I reacted a little late. So I would request everybody, please unmute yourself. Let's give the clap that we from heart. The intent is to clap. Let's make it so loud that certain are the emotions that we really are feeling from our hearts. So big clap for you, not for the speech, but the way you said. I think the most beautiful thing that I believe Aldeep sir has is that whatever he speaks from heart. If you can hear, I am continuously clapping. People are pouring in their claps in the chat section. It's not about the clap, I would again say. It's just about showing how deeply you have impacted the heart. That we don't have words, but the only way we can communicate is through the claps we pour in. So I would quickly now like to give it to Jyoti ma'am. If anybody would like to ask any question, Jyoti ma'am, you can address those questions, and then we can move forward. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Krishnapriya Harsh. And in fact, before I proceed with questions, Dr. Rajdeep, thank you so much.
Thank you.
136 ears and 68 hearts belong to you now, sir. We were all listening to you intently. Thank you so very much. The way you put all the instances and the way you made us learn messages through whatever you went through. I think we are going to have those things in our heart forever. You have etched the message in our hearts. And we promise that we will definitely arrive. So we've landed in Toastmasters, but this is a promise from all 66 right now, 66 members, that we will definitely arrive. So that's a promise. On behalf of the entire club, I extend this promise, and I assure that we will definitely arrive and be good human beings, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So very quickly, I'll just see, sir, if there are questions. We can just have two quick questions for Rajdeep. Sir, if you want to ask anything, if you want to learn anything more, so we can give this opportunity to two guests or two members, just two people if you want to ask anything. We have DTM Naveen with us. Sir,
Ma'am,
anything?
please.
Yes.
Yes. Who's that?
It's
Naman.
Naman Maheshwari. Yes.
Naman, if you could just type your question in the chat box, or would you
Yes.
like to ask yourself?
I would like to ask, if you don't mind.
Please do, Naman. I don't mind at all. I'm very happy. Just keep it short. Please keep it short. Please ask a question. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
I'm a CA student. So my query is that since the whole day I spend in studying, so how to manage and what the short things I can do to improve my communication skills? What to do, sir? This is only what I want to ask.
नवीन, आप CA इंटरमीडिएट कर रहे हो, फाइनल कर रहे हो?
C intermediate, sir. Preparing for C intermediate.
So my suggestion is your exam is, I think so, November 24th. No, कब से शुरू है?
Yes, sir. From 2nd November.
2nd November. So
Yes, sir.
my suggestion is concentrate on your studies now. In
Yes,
ITCA students, so I know I teach strategic management and financial economics. So I know
Okay.
how much of struggle is going on in that. So, and now the May and November exams are together. So there will be a lot more candidates writing. So,
Yes, sir.
you know, sometimes in life, you will have short-term imbalances to get a long-term balance in life. So these are short-term imbalances. You have to study more, you'll have to spend 18 hours a day, etc. But once you clear your intermediate and before you get into your articleship, right, you will have time. So at that time, you can balance out by stressing on your communication, by doing something. The very fact that you're attending this meeting itself is great. So keep attending your meetings, but don't worry. Short-term imbalances lead to long-term balances. I know so many times career-oriented decisions have to be taken, and this is one of your prime time for your career. So concentrate on your career. As soon as you finish your intermediate, get back to your Toastmasters, spend more time, and you'll iron out the short-term imbalance with And over a long term, you'll definitely become a great communicator.
Yes, sir. Sir, one thing more, sir, because I spend around 14 to 15 hours in study. So, as a recreation part, what short things I can do in speaking skills so that I could also get some recreation and I could also get a break.
What do you love to do? Do you like watching cricket? Do you like what is your hobby? What is
I love to play cricket and also these communication skills
so
like
attend
speaking and all.
Toastmasters. But what I'm trying to tell you is attend Toastmasters, come for impromptu speeches once in a week, come to your Jaipur Toastmasters club if you're a member. I don't know.
Current affairs, speaking on current affairs
Yeah.
discussion.
So Naman, you can take this advice and you can put this to
Yeah,
implementation.
so do these small things. Play cricket once in a while. If you can't play normal cricket, play Dream Fantasy. They're the sponsors, I think so, this IPL. But do something like that to then 14, 15 hours, the 1 or 2 hours will always, you can do that. So don't worry. Attend your Toastmasters meetings online and do a little bit of cricket here and there, follow it here and there. But don't lose focus on your long term. Your focus.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much,
much, sir. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank
your
you so
advice.
much, Dr. Rajdeep. You gave a very practical solution to Naman. One quick question, if you permit. There's one quick question. Mr. Ravi, Oja, and Sakshi wish to ask this question. Sakshi wants to ask that how to keep the level of motivation high in life. That's what she wants to ask. And Mr. Ravi wants to ask that from where do we get the right person to mentor? So in professional world, even in the personal world, people crave to have a good mentor from whom a genuine advice can be taken. So they want a way out. They want a solution in a nutshell from you, Dr. Rajdeep.
I don't know. This question of how do you stay motivated was asked to one of the most famous motivational speaker called Zig Ziglar, and he asked, "How do you keep clean every day?" I'm not telling my perspective. I'm telling you what Zig Ziglar told, and I want to repeat this to you. So they say we have bath every day. So he said, "Why do you have bath every day?" He said, "To keep clean." So he said, in the same way as you have motivated, do something to keep yourself motivated every day. Might be listen to a motivational talk, see some interesting videos. So motivation, see, any change in life happens in two ways. Either it's a qualitative change or a quantitative change. Qualitative changes, you have one ever since moment, like Mahatma Gandhi was thrown on the platform and that got so much churn in him that he became the father of the nation. He came back. Or Mother Teresa saw a person dying on the ditches in Calcutta. So that happens very rarely, where you get that passion for life. But the other way, which is the way for all of us, is keep listening to motivational talks, keep on the job, read some self-help book, get up early. The first thing is, don't see any news 1 hour before sleeping and 1 hour after you got up, for God's sake. Understand? Because you'll find so many people dying, this happened, this happened, that time. Go on a media diet, like you go on a junk food diet, right? So don't go into the media because that will distract you and will demotivate you. Go on a media diet and try and feed into some positive news, some positive thoughts every day. Some person whom you get attracted on YouTube. What KPH's videos? They're very good. Correct or no? So see her videos, see something which will motivate you on a daily basis and go on a media diet. That's one way to keep motivated. And quantitative change will lead to, like if you have to go to a gym and build up muscles, you don't go 2 days and leave it, right? You go for 15 days, 20 days, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Do you get six packs in 1 month? No, 6 months, 8 months, and then you find that the muscles are really developing. So for you to stay motivated, you'll have to keep doing it slowly, 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 inch by inch, inch by inch. You will reach a stage where you feel perpetually motivated. Okay, that's one thing. And one more advice, which your words have a very, very big impact on your feelings. So don't use any negative words at all. Go on a media diet and go on a word diet. Don't say, oh, I'm so sad. I'm so this, because your ears are closest to your mouth. Keep that in mind. Okay. So do that. That will help you a lot. Words, everyday motivation, media diet. That will help you a lot. Now, how to find the right mentor? I don't know. Sometimes you just find your mentor. Where do you get connected? Which is the person in your club whom you're connected to? That person becomes your mentor. Correct? And also, mentor is something which happens when you might have seen somebody and you feel this, okay, this is the person whose wavelength matches with me. and then go along with them. And it's not necessary to have only one mentor. Might be 2 or 3 people have connected with you. Connect with them, speak to them, see how you feel with them. Correct? And then choose the mentor who you feel you think will connect with you and go ahead with you. So choosing a mentor is like getting a guru. It just happens. If it happens, if you're lucky enough, you get that feeling. You feel that your heart starts ringing. When I met my spiritual guru, I knew I my entire goosebumps were there. My heart had started beating fast, and I knew that I'm no longer going to do any more spiritual hunting. My destination is come, and I'm going to follow this. So sometimes in life, you will get such people where you will just find the right person. If your heart will say, and your body will immediately react that this is the right person for you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Dr. Rajdeep. In fact, you've given us this tip that we need to look for the right frequency. And to look for the right frequency, we need to keep our antennas active so that we motivate our.
You're so smart, Jyoti, really. You're a lamp of knowledge.
Thank you. It's just sir, that like I have chosen my mentor today, so I'm feeling so blessed today that I have got a mentor of life today.
Thank you.
So the same way, everybody needs to keep the antennas active so that you get the positive vibes and you get your mentor. In fact, we have many questions, sir, but I know we are short of time. People have a concern. Divyanshi has a concern that she is comfortable writing things, but whenever she is asked to speak, she is so afraid that she goes tight-lipped. She just can't speak. So that is one question. And in fact, the chat box is full of thank you notes, accolades, and gratitude for you, sir. In fact, the entire chat box is full. If I have to look for a question, I really have to scroll up and down. So the entire chat box is full. People say that they are blessed to be here in this session. So thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you much.
Thank you so much. One quick note, yeah, Divyanshi, for Divyanshi, last question, sir.
Divyanshi, you don't have to worry. Everybody goes through this. In fact, the day you're not nervous. In fact, I was so nervous when I came to this meeting. You won't believe it. And I'm speaking for how many years now? Nearly 17. When did I join Toastmasters? 2007. 13 years. So I've been speaking in IGET because, that fear of being judged is always there. It's your ego against some 50, 60 egos looking at you at that particular point of time. So everybody gets nervous. There is nothing to get scared about it. Even I was nervous. After seeing KPH's videos, I got even more nervous. My God, kya bolti hai? My God, I said, wow, pimple ke upar itna. She gave gyan on pimple for 8 minutes. I said, wow, I can't even speak on pimples for 2 seconds, right? And so I was saying, my God, how will I go to this club? So even I got nervous. So it's after 13 years, if I can get nervous, you are justified, absolutely justified to get nervous. It's nothing. You keep facing the fear and doing it. The only way in which you can get over this fear of public speaking is going again and again. As I told you, quantitative change will lead to a qualitative change. So you go once, try and speak in your table talk. Once your mouth will be shut. And who's there? It's all friendly environment for you, Divyanshi, over here in Jaipur. Nobody's going to criticize you. You might feel judged, but it's okay. Go again and again. Try table topics. It's okay. And also one more thing. Writing is absolutely great. Let me tell you one thing. Every person on this world is unique. Every person. Somebody has one skill. Somebody has another skill. Might be Naveen is very good at logical thinking. Jyoti is very good at speaking. KPH is very good at anchoring. I don't know the others. But every person is born on this world with a skill. And your skill is writing. It doesn't mean J.K. Rowling is a great writer, but she may not be a great speaker. Salman Rushdie is a great writer. She may not be a great speaker. But does it mean that they are less in life? No way. You are absolutely special. You are absolutely a darling. You're a sweetheart. You don't worry. Everybody has their own weaknesses. Nobody in this world is perfect. We are all work in progress. Remember this. So you are also work in progress and I am work in progress. We will all go a little bit, just that we have to be a little better than what we were yesterday. Okay. So you don't have to worry about this. Okay. So it is absolutely normal. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. In fact, the chat box is full. Madam Poonam Mansingh says that it's so reassuring to listen to the motivational words of Dr. Rajdeep. So the chat box is full, sir. In fact, DTM Naveen is here and Hanuman sir is here. They want to make a request that we want to have this association with you lifelong, sir. We want to have you in our club. We want to be somewhere near your shadow, sir. So that's a request from all of us, from the entire Jaipur Toastmasters.
Definitely, I'm going to shift to Jaipur because in Bangalore nobody घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर तो.
So we'll keep coming to Bangalore, sir, and we'll keep inviting you to Jaipur. And with that note, I know that we are hard pressed with time, so I won't take the liberty of asking more questions. But in spirit, a big thank you from all the listeners who have flooded the chat box with gratitude and messages.
Thank you so much. I will exit from the meeting now. Thank you.
Wait, over to Krishna Priya Harsh, sir. Sir, please wait 3-4 minutes more, sir.
Please,
over to you, TMOD Krishna Priya Harsh.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And Rajdeep sir, thank you so much. In my life, nobody has ever spoken so much about my YouTube channel, and especially the pimple video. I'm dancing today that somebody acknowledged that video for me. So thank you so much for such beautiful words of wisdom, sir. We really enjoyed. And there are small token of thank you. I'm sure that the things that you have given us, whatever we give as a token of thank you is going to be very small. But just a way of saying a big thanks for taking out time. I would quickly like to ask our VPPR Toastmaster Tarun to please come on stage and do the honors of giving the certificate. Quickly, I can ask, we have 2-3 things, so quickly we'll do it and then we'll move forward. Toastmaster Tarun.
Certificate.
Here is the certificate. Good evening, sir. On the behalf of Jaipur Toastmaster Club, I would like to present you a certificate of appreciation, and we are so thankful to have you in on this. This is a really amazing event for us, and thank you, sir, for coming to Jaipur Toastmasters Club.
Thank you.
And sir, we will going to forward this certificate through mail. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tarun. Now I would quickly like to call upon stage Toastmaster Shivangi, and who's the event chair for today and who's been handling everything. I would quickly like to call Toastmaster Shivangi, and the small token of thank you that we want to give to sir, you can give it Toastmaster Shivangi.
Thank you so much, first of all, Rajdeep sir, for coming. And to be very honest, listening the whole story of yours, I don't know, but it was so emotional that it just felt wonderful. Like I was at bliss, to be very true. Like it was just like I'm not falling short of words to say. So from Jaipur Toastmasters Club, we would like to gift you this audiobook, Autobiography of Yogi. So this is a very wonderful book, and we want you to listen to this audiobook. So we want to gift you, and I hope you really like it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Shivangi. Shivangi also, Rajdeep, so Shivangi has written a beautiful poem. Shivangi and along with her Bhavi, they both wrote a beautiful poem for you because she was so much in awe for you. So I would quickly request Shivangi to come on stage and please say those few lines that I feel we all, the entire room, people sitting in the room resonate to it. But you are our voice, Shivangi, for Rajdeep, sir. Please go for it.
Thank you so much, Krishna Priya. So sir, this is yours. वो जो सपने आंखों में नहीं दिल में संजोते हैं, वो जो शारीरिक कमजोरी को अंतरूजा से हराते हैं, वो जो राजाओं सा जीवन सही मायने में जीना सिखाते हैं, वो जो दीप सा प्रकाश कर अंधियारों में उजाला जलाते हैं, एक ऐसे ही भारत की नोनिहाल को आज हम बुलाते हैं, जिन्हें हम और आप डॉक्टर राजदीप के नाम से जानते हैं. Thank you so much.
पोएट्री मेरे लिए नहीं लिखी थी. I should please forward this to my wife. She will be thrilled. Like me, she should learn my work. She should. Thank you so much for that. मेरे को लगता है आपको गीत लिखना चाहिए. आप गुलजार को कंपटीशन देंगे.
All right.
Thank you.
Rajdeep sir, these two things were from Jaipur Toastmasters behalf. Now the next thing that we're going to give is, I believe, on behalf of everybody who's right now attending the meeting and all those people who couldn't attend the meeting, but I believe that they have a deep respect for you. And I'll just take 2 minutes of yours, and I'll say you of how deeply have you impacted people's life. So 2 years back, I met a lady called Alka Agarwal, and she was a part of Fiki channel, and that's where she first time heard you, and she got so inspired by your story for the way you speak that 2 years back she told me that Rajdeep sir inspired me so much that I joined Toastmasters and I want to become like him, a speaker like him. What a charisma he has. After that, I started following you, and almost most of my club members started following you. And I always just had one dream that, I just hope someday in my life I can meet Rajdeep sir. But for me, it was like the fan who has a dream to meet the celebrity, but it never comes true. For me, it was like that. So after this, just few days back, we had this mentoring session that you took, and few of our club members were there. And by God's grace, we met you there, and we just again that small dream and desire that was there in our heart, we just ignited it again. And I just hope Rajdeep sir comes back, and we started watching again all your videos, and everybody started watching your videos again. And your words were so beautiful, sir. Believe me, that there were few times when I was really feeling low, and your words just inspired that heart that, hey man, I can also do things. Let's go and figure out things. And so many ways you have inspired so many people. Now, sir, although you are in Bangalore, we believe that we really want you, as we were speaking also, that we want you to be here in Jaipur. Totally understand the shifting process would take time. So meanwhile, you are shifting in Jaipur because you've got bored with Bangalore, as you told. What we are doing is, sir, on your behalf, we want that till Rajdeep sir is not coming here in Jaipur, we are going to sponsor one plant. There is a foundation called Pauda Foundation. We're going to, they basically what they do is that you give them an amount, and from the baby seed to a plant, they to the tree, they ensure that the shielding of the tree, the manuring, the soiling, everything is taken care by them. And we would ensure this, sir, that we make that donation to Pauda Foundation. And this plant, just the way you have blossomed our heart so beautifully, this plant would blossom and become a tree, and they would keep the name of this plant as Dr. Rajdeep. So whenever we'll be going in Jaipur, in any area where this plant is there, we'll remember Dr. Rajdeep. Until, sir, you're shifting your base to Jaipur, for us this plant would be in spirit Dr. Rajdeep with us, continuously telling us that how
I've also
important growth
decided
is.
I'm going to plant 4 trees today. Krishna is one tree. Jyoti is one more tree. Shivangi. I am also planting now. You just see, by the time you come to Bangalore, no, all of them will be beautiful. Okay, Jyoti will be a rose. You will be a beautiful hibiscus, and Krishna is Tulsi also, another name for Tulsi. So I'm going to plant a Tulsi plant. शिवांगी तुम्हारे लिए बील पत्र वो शिवा का होता है ना तो
Yes,
you
sir.
don't worry by the time you all come there'll be 3 trees outside my house and you all can sit on the shade and we can gossip together okay so thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much, sir. So in both the cases, whenever you come in Jaipur, we're going to sit under your tree, and when we come in Bangalore, we'll sit continuously under our trees, and we're going to make the nature good and inspire everyone. So
Thank you.
once again, thank you so
Thank
very
you.
much, Rajdeep,
Thank
sir,
you
for
very,
joining us.
very much, and I'm deeply grateful to you all. Thank you. So I
Thank
will
you.
move
Thank
out
you.
to the meeting. Thank you
Thank
so. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So,
Thank you
so
so much.
we'll see you